If you are still following up to now, it's an evidence that you are indeed a role model to many. Thank you very much. I remain your unstoppable emperor. We are going to be discussing on the power of assessment. What is assessment? Assessment personally can be defined as the process of reviewing data. Any individual who does not assess his or her progress can never know where he or she is going to degrade. No matter your business you are doing, if there is no assessment, there will be no progress. And the day of your downfall, it will look as if it was demonic. Even though sometimes demonic attack can affect your business, but assessment is the number one key that makes many to break down. You can either call it assessment, accountability, or auditing, depending the segment or the sector you find yourself. There are areas of assessment, many areas, but I'll be breaking down the three most powerful areas you must pay attention to. If you don't pay attention to these three basic areas, there is no way you can make progress. These are the basic areas of assessment. The first and the basic is the knowledge assessment. The day the input degrade, that is when your output will no longer be brushed effectively. Remember, you attract what you have upstairs. The moment you open your mouth and speak, people will determine the level of your knowledge. Make sure you are improving every single day at all costs. People will leave you if they discover the knowledge in your library is no longer sufficient. At least make it mandatory to read at least one book in a day. Then conclude that particular book at least in a month. Build your library. The moment you are growing, that is where you need to build your library, because where you are going, it is not a place to go with emptiness. You must be loaded. You are not leading only but goods. Even though you are just selling goods in your shop, remember, it is people that are coming to buy those goods. So you need much knowledge to be able to display effectively. Even though you can't read English, there are Igbo books. Even though you can't read, there are tapes. Even though you can't get any hand in tapes, there are social platforms. You can download some videos that educate you on that particular business you are doing or the particular field you are finding so difficult. Be it in communication, be it in business accountability, any angle you are finding difficult, get a book in that part and study effectively. Read to show yourself approved consistently. The second part you must pay attention to and always assess if certainly you are making progress or not is your business activity assessment. Those things that made your business what it is, those activities that made you to remain number one, those activities that kept you to the top or that took you to the top and made you to remain at the top, the day you stop doing those things is the day you start losing every value. So you must sit down and assess those activities so that you either check if you need an upgrading or you need consistency, because whatever you're not upgrading will be degrading, and once you are degrading, the right ones will start leaving you gradually. So you must assess your activities at least consistently, every week or monthly. Assess it, or daily depending on your schedules. You must assess it to see if there is something that needs to be stopped or something that needs to be continued. Because once you are not assessing them, there will be no way you will determine the areas that is giving you effective results and the area that is weakening your energy, or the areas to diversify. There are some areas you need to let go or move to your team members. Let them handle that areas. Because for a leader to be much effective, you must understand the thing you need to give out to your team and the ones you need to handle by yourself. So it is when you are having those assessments on your business activity, you will determine the ones to diversify, the ones to give out, and the ones to maintain on. Business activity assessment, pay attention to it so that you will be consistent in your progress. And the third, which is the most effective, is financial assessment. A man who is not heavily accessible in his finance is preparing to go out of business, because you need finance to be consistent in business. Without finance, there is no business, because soon than imagine you burn out. As a beginner, assume that you are starting business and you don't have much customers or much goods or much empire to look into, you can be assessing your business every single day. How much is entering, how much is leaving. If you don't know how much is entering in your business and areas money is leaving from your business, there is no way you will never go out of business. If you do not go out of business, you will find yourself heavily in bad debt. I know what I'm telling you. So you must be heavily accessible in your finance. If you are now a big, let me say, a commercial personnel, you have big team and big business running for you, you must pay attention to at least 3 months business assessment, or 6 months business assessment, or yearly assessment. Pay attention, audit your finance. That's what the best thing I do recommend business owners, big business owners. I do tell them that try to be changing your accountant at least once in 6 months or yearly, because the new accountant discover where there are errors and where there are fraud. So pay heavily attention to your finance, because finance is needed to be in a competitive market. A business personnel who does not have finance can never stand the pressure of business. That's why many food. And even though you are running your business with debt, because there are good debt and bad debt, which I'll be discussing on another video, the moment you don't pay attention to your debt, you will find out that you enter into a bad debt. And when you enter into a bad debt, depression can make you quit from that business. So for you to be progressive and multiply your debt to become so profitable, because when you are paying attention to your financial assessment, you understand what to call your capital, your profit margin, and your profit. Remember, the profit that comes out from the capital you invested in your business, it is not profit yet. It is called profit margin. And that profit margin need to multiply for you to get the real profit. So you must pay attention to your finance effectively, so that within 6 or 1 year, you can boldly show something that this is what I've gotten out of the business I started with. 1 million, 2 million, 10,000, 20,000, depends. Any money you invest in a business must multiply for you if you pay attention to business assessment. Pay attention to these 3 basic rules, and I bet you progress will be consistent. Don't remember to keep subscribing, keep following, share this video as much as you can. I know I'm telling you, because you're not going to miss the next one. The moment you subscribe, you will not miss the next video. It's going to be loaded. Thank you, and see you.